You can pivot it. It's okay to do that, yeah.
But then I
just
have to
turn it. You have to turn it. There you go.
Oh, man.
Okay, can you talk into the microphone now?
First person present. Come for the writing advice, stay for the Chipotle hacks. Did you know that you can get 2.5 scoops of Chipotle in your bowl and then frantically ask for a burrito wrap at the end, pretending like you suddenly forgot that it wasn't a burrito?
Josh is learning this week about Chipotle because she's not a Chipotle pro like I am. Like when Chipotle got the salmonella scare, I was first in line. They were like, we're dropping the prices. We got to get rid of all this salmonella meat. And I was like, let's do it. I'll have that.
I'll take 4 scoops, please.
At the time, I was like, I have to buy Chipotle stock right now because it tumbled so far.
Oh, my God.
But I never did. And I would have been rich because it's 3x since then.
You should be that little Monopoly man for Halloween.
I could be the Monopoly man for Halloween. I think that it's a pretty easy costume. You just have to wear a tuxedo and a top hat.
Yeah, with the little tails. Yeah.
And a top hat. I could deal with that. Mm-hmm. This week, we're doing something a little different because we've got Reddit on deck, but we don't have any Reddit questions yet selected. What I did was I got on my computer and I made a Reddit post. And I asked the standard question, would you like a craft? If you could ask a craft question, what would it be? And we're going to let it roll in and do this live.
Oh, boy.
We're not broadcasting live.
We're going to put our faces in the trough in the proverbial sense.
We're going to be like the pigs going, wee, can I have some more?
Yep. We don't understand that reference, but it's
we
very
do.
It's very dark and personal and includes Facebook.
Yeah, I've been arguing on Facebook with Trump supporters. Can you blame me? How's your week? How's your writing? How's your life?
I have an interesting development to report, which is that I have started working on a short story. I have started working on a short story for the first time in I don't know how long. And it's one of those things, I can feel it, where it's coming to me very quickly. So I started working on it when I was sitting with my son, putting him to bed. I have a very small baby. I have a 3-month-old baby.
Those who know.
And when you have a 3-month-old baby, for those of you who don't know, sometimes you have to, if you're not a sadist, then you're not just putting them into the crib and walking away.
Which I do.
You kind of just have to sit with them until they fall deeply enough into sleep so that you can just sort of transfer them into their crib or their bassinet or something.
Yeah, my baby books always were like, the man baby books are like, hold that baby for 20 minutes.
The man baby book,
yeah.
Which is a sort of category.
Oh, it was
the
a category.
of the man baby book talks a lot about how the women are crazy and you just need to weather them.
And you can have sex with them soon, don't worry.
Yeah, it's a real... really, nothing's changed. Feminism is just rolling right off us like water off ducks.
To be fair,
it's not sticking at all.
All of my man baby books were for free from the group. We have a local community group, and they were from 1995. So not exactly a fair judge of the current parenting book market, perhaps. I'm sure that there are more woke dad baby books now. Yeah.
They say partner instead of wife when they describe the hysterical partner.
Yeah, exactly.
The other hysterical partner.
The other
birthing partner.
The other hysterical partner. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you can be hysterical too now as the dad, which is great for me because it kind of checks out with my experience.
Okay, so I started working on this short story in the process of putting my baby to sleep, and that's because I have my phone with me to start the timer when he goes to sleep because I'm trying to calculate how long he sleeps for. Anyway, this is one of the first times where having my phone and writing was actually productive because I had it available and I just, I've been doing this for years. I send myself notes via email when I'm working on a long project or something like that. I just kind of email them to myself and then I basically don't archive the email until I do something with the note. Transfer it somewhere, utilize it, etc. So I started working on this short story this way. And I think just kind of sitting there for the, I think 10 minutes or so, I probably got about, I don't know, I think 2.5 paragraphs down to three paragraphs. So I feel pretty good about that. That's got nothing to do with, my large novel situation, my project, or the essay that I'm supposed to be finishing, but I love to start something.
I think it's in the Garden of Eden, Hemingway, where he's writing a long novel, and then he gets an idea about being a little boy in Africa or some bullshit Hemingway plot like this, and he's like, "But no, I can't write that because I have to stay focused on the project." And he's talking about how it's a betrayal to step away from your big project and work on something small, and then it will always derail you and blah, blah, blah. And I've held that very close to my chest for a very long time, where it's like, if you're working on a really long project, which I find that I'm pretty much always doing, then you have to be faithful to the project. And if you go and you write a little essay, or if you go and you write a little story, or if you especially go and write down the first pages of a novel, a different novel, then you are committing adultery. And
full infidelity.
Yeah.
Full.
And it is definitely like a Catholic marriage kind of vibe. Mm-hmm. But this time around, I think that I've realized that my book is so long and it is surely going to encapsulate the next 10 years at least of my life, that like it's okay and I have to actually go write other things as I go along. Visit the prostitute of the short story, for instance.
No, dear God. We have to... Oh, we're going to have to do this again now.
You think that I'm going to re-record this? You're dead wrong. We're on a schedule, babe.
Prostitute of the short story. Oh, my God. We're never going to get the Toblerone sponsorship I had hoped.
That's right. Because I don't think prostitute's right. Sex worker of the short story. You're right. I did that wrong. Well, anyway... I think it's really healthy, actually, in your writing life to get some distance from your current project by working on shorter pieces that have finish lines that you can pretty easily reach.
Yeah, and I think just, I'm not an advocate for inspiration in the sense that I don't think people should wait for it or should sort of, let it delay their inevitable writing process, right? But I do think that when something strikes you and it has the sense of full form, which in my case, that's kind of how why I'm feeling optimistic about this, is I actually think I know the last line, and that's very rare. Then I think you should sort of strike while the iron's hot. I think you should get it down and make sure you have it, and et cetera, et cetera. So I too feel that fidelity is important when you're working on a long project, because that's part of for me, that's part of the joy in the process of something is it becomes, I've said this probably a million times already. I think that one of the pleasures of working on a novel is that it kind of emulsifies with your life. And then you get to sort of have this new thing that's entirely yours, that's with you day to day, that sort of goes through your friendships and your work, etc.
That tracks every single thought of your life. I mean, when you start getting obsessed with new things in your life, that you just roll into the novel, and then you can see this weird digression about, I don't know, the 60s beatnik culture in your book and be like, oh yeah, that's when I found that book.
Yeah, totally. So, but it's nice when something comes fully formed like this, and you can just kind of birth it. I'm using that verb, because I also just heard my baby cry in the background. How was your week? your writing week?
I found inspiration in an unlikely place.
You Is this a Rihanna riff? What is this?
Not even.
Okay.
Not even. What happened was Monday is the day that I go into the city to do a lot of different clients back to back. So that is the day that I really look forward to because I have like an hour and 15 minutes on the train there, an hour and 15 minutes on the way back, and I can get a lot of reading in. Mm-hmm. And for me, reading is the thing that fertilizes my writing. If I get excited about something that I'm reading, then I'm going to be excited about whatever I'm working on the next day, like without fail. It happens every single time. So when I went out yesterday, I was running late. There was a snowstorm here in New York City where we got like a foot, maybe just a foot of snow.
I think that's very conservative. I think it's at least 2 feet.
It's not at least 2 feet, but what made it at least 2 feet was the plows and the shovelers who just piled it all up in boundaries, like on the boundaries of their property and on the road. So when you're walking, you have to cross all of these enormous mounds of snow. It's like mountaineering in Brooklyn, which is really fun, but really hard, and it slows you down. So I was kind of rushing out the house because I really wanted to get to this reading time, and I realized that I had forgotten all of my books here. So thank God for Brooklyn. I stopped at the little library on the way, and I found this little guy right here, Tales of Beatnik Glory, by a writer named Ed Sanders, who I'd never heard before. But the cover, you haven't seen it yet, has all of these like sexy beatniks having sex on it and laying in bed.
I think just one of them. One couple's making out. Two might actually be about to break up, and then the other two
post-coital.
are
Pre-coital, post-coital, and these guys are smoking some grass. So it's truly some beatnik glory.
Could be grass. We don't know. All right.
A lot of grass in the book so far. Well, anyway, I started reading the book. I was really enjoying it. And when I got to the table again this morning, I felt really energized by it because it just turns out that this Ed Sanders writer, who I'd never heard of before, was like in the Village during the 60s, like the late 50s, 60s, 70s. He's still alive. Like he's doing readings at like Cooper Union and stuff. And he's an insanely good writer. Like it's a book of short stories, and every single one of them is just a different perspective on the same cluster of events. It's called a cluster novel is the way that it's called. So I just want to put my 2 cents in for acts of chance and acts of fate bringing inspiration to you, because whenever you're feeling a little bit arid, a little bit dry, I do think that it helps just to like Sheila Heti style, draw a tarot card, see what the hell that thing says, or do something that introduces a little bit of randomness into your process.
Traffic swarms like bees against the banks. Glass half theirs. Glass half theirs.
Okay, so we have answers.
Well, no. We have a question that we have to answer.
We have a question that we can choose to answer.
Okay. We have free will.
So here's the question. Are you ready? This is from Mira Wendham. Oh, by the way, the question was, if you could ask your favorite writer a single craft question, what would it be?
Oh, in this case, we are the favorite writers.
No, we aren't the favorite writers, but the favorite writers are the guests that we can invite to the show to help answer the question in future episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but for today's purposes, we just have to pretend to be those writers.
Okay.
So, here's the start. For Lee Child, this is you.
Oh, I'm Lee Child.
You're
okay.
Lee Child. How do you write fight scenes? Isn't it interesting that we've just answered a question that was very similar to this recently?
Yes.
How do you write fight scenes, Lee?
So fight scenes are really just choreography. They're well described action scenes. They're probably like writing sex scenes or writing dance scenes or writing
Impossible to do. Dance scenes.
Two people dancing? You think it's impossible to write a scene of two people dancing?
In a book, I think it's very, very difficult. One of the most challenging things.
Okay. I think fight scenes are harder. So I guess I would say that I write them by looking at a lot of Okay, so Josh just gestured for me to put my hands on the table.
Instead of in front of your face like this, which is maybe not the best posture to be recording a newly videoized podcast.
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Boardman learned DaVinci, the software.
I didn't learn it. I don't know how to do it still.
Well, okay. So my hunch is that you write good fight scenes by looking at a lot of fight scenes and probably figuring out how to describe that particular choreography, plus developing very strong descriptive language. So
sure, that's probably what you need to develop that skill set. We've been watching a lot of fight scenes recently. This was one of the main things we were talking about among ourselves when we started watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, was the really robust choreography, especially of those early seasons. I feel like now that we're in the later seasons, it's kind of
more psychological.
Yeah, and it's the fights in particular have seemed kind of more of a wash to me. Like they're all the same. But especially in like seasons 3, 4, 5, whatever, they were very elaborately choreographed. And the thing that was really satisfying about them to me was that it was just constant reversals. So like there would be some actions taking place, usually a chain of actions where one character would be winning and they'd be doing things to the other character. And then something would happen, a reversal, like Buffy would pick up a chain from the ground and then she'd start winning for a while against the other person. So that it seemed to me like the thing that made those fight scenes really dynamic and really interesting was just that it seemed like every like 3 to 4 seconds there was another reversal, and now this person's winning and now this person's winning. So I suspect that really densely actioned scenes like fight scenes or like dance scenes or like sex scenes are ones where there's reversals occurring all the time, you know, and it's keeping the reader on their toes.
Yeah, like an exchange of power.
Yeah, exactly. Who's winning? You know, what will the outcome be? As long as the reader is guessing through the course of that, like, oh, looks like this person's definitely going to win, then you're doing your job, right? Because everyone knows that, like, everyone knows at the beginning of a fight scene, I think, generally which character is going to win that fight. And if you can make them doubt that, if you can make them doubt that the hero is going to win, for instance, or doubt that the villain's going to win, because, again, you can usually tell the fight that's going to be a villain fight, then I think that you're doing a good job as a writer.
My hunch also with regard to books, because we're using a TV show as a reference, so we're using a visual medium, and is probably that fight scenes should not go on for too long, because it is just but I don't know. See, now I feel like I said that and I'm thinking, well, first of all, can we think of a good example? Like, I'm thinking of Hemingway.
With fight scenes?
Yeah.
I mean, so what's the story with the boxing? There's a short story about a boxer, and there's an enormous... It's in Men Without Women. I'll write it in the show notes. Mm-hmm. And the ending sequence is this boxer is supposed to throw the fight, basically. And you're wondering through the entire course of the fight, which ends up being, like I think 5 pages long or like a very extended scene.
The boxer fight.
The boxing, the match.
Right. There's a word for that.
Yeah. Is he going to throw or not? And for this round, you think, okay, it seems like he's going to. At this one, you think he's not going to. And then, the genius of that story, if I recall correctly, is that I think the other guy ends up throwing instead of him or something.
So it's just a race to who can throw it the fastest.
It's like a crazy betting,
like
St. Louis or something, Kansas City story or something like that.
Okay. Where fight throwing is abundant.
Well, and truly, if we were good at this, we'd be looking to Lee Child, I think, to see
we would
the length of
we would be looking to me.
We'd be looking to Lee herself here, himself, herself here,
him, her.
Lee Child's a man, I think.
Lee Child is a woman.
No, that can't be. I'm looking at a picture of Lee Child right now. He looks like Conan O'Brien.
Oh my God! How could you have possibly picked the one author we know nothing about, including their gender?
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, so moving on to the next question then, because
we are unreliable. I'm sorry, we've failed you.
To be fair, we never claimed to be Lee Child.
We answered we did actually repeatedly. You claimed I was Lee Child.
I didn't claim that. I asserted that. And it was true at that moment.
The son of a lawyer, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, second question. We're going to do one for Riley Sager.
Oh my God. What do you read of people on Reddit? What kind of people do you read?
This is some Reddit shit. How do you come up with your ideas? What inspires you?
We can't actually answer that question.
Not for this writer. How about why don't we reframe it? Riley, I'll reframe this for you, Riley Sager. How does one come up with their ideas? What inspires one? Back to inspiration, am I right?
I mean, I think you're going to have to go ahead and take this one, Riley.
I'm not Riley, but okay, so I recognize some of these book covers. It's Todd Ritter is the real name of this author. The nom de plume is Riley Sager. Looks like a thriller writer. The question for Riley Sager, for the general audience, is how do you come up with your ideas? And this is actually a question that I've encountered with my clients several times. They're like, how do I think of like the next idea for a short story? You know? And I think that it goes back to inspiration. What do you think?
So I wouldn't really, I don't know. The short answer is I don't come up with things. The long answer is I sort of stumble on something, and if I keep returning to it, it's usually a sign that it's sticky or interesting enough to me. But if I think about it very mechanically, for example, I typically have to think of a scene, or a scene comes to me, or a scene typically with a particular kind of person comes to me. That's what happened recently with this short story. And then I unspool that for a long time. And usually I will hit a dead end if it's just sort of, I don't know, a standalone scene that I've discovered I actually just found interesting, or if it's really just a very short story or something. But for something substantial like a long book, the pleasure is sort of in unspooling something for a very long time, especially in the drafting stage. I don't do the what if, right? What if this thing happened to this person, right?
Something people do, right?
And that is something that people do all the time. And actually, somebody just said that to me kind of recently. They were describing their novel premise, and they said that they came to it by reading a very old article. They were doing some sort of archival work, and they encountered this article in an old newspaper. And then from reading that, they said to themselves, what if this thing happened to this kind of person? And I don't think like that. I don't know why. That sounds great. That seems like...
I think that there's a movie scene that isn't occurring to me right now where it might even just be from Veep, like some episode of Veep. I'll have to look this one up too. But where somebody's like, my novel premise? Well, we all know that, like Bush won the election in 2000. My novel presupposes, what if he didn't? And it's like, I feel like the what if method often comes up with these just really stupid alternate reality scenarios
zany ideas
that aren't interesting. Like there are interesting ones such as, what is it? The Sound of Thunder that everyone reads in middle school about the butterfly effect, and then the person goes back, they step on a butterfly in the distant past with their time machine, then they come back and it's like the USSR is taking over America or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Notably only a short story, couldn't fill a novel with that premise. But I think that I want to substitute the word inspiration for observation, actually, because for me, the way that I come up with ideas for whatever I want to do isn't by feeling inspired all of a sudden by like something that strikes the mind, but by just kind of living my life day to day in a very present manner with my notes app handy at all times. Like I have running notes for every book and story that I write. And just when I notice something in the world, writing it down.
Yeah, I think that's I think observation in place of inspiration is a very good description, actually, of what that process is like for me, too. I don't even remember the last name of the writer we're supposed to be pretending to be. Riley what? Higgins?
Gilkerson. Riley Gilker. No.
No, it's not.
Oh, my bad. It's actually Riley Sagler. Sager.
I'm sorry, Riley Gilgerson, if you hear this.
I think that we're going to make a lot of enemies with this episode.
100%.
So we're not going to talk about contemporary writers anymore and reveal that we don't know them because that's probably not the way to do it.
No one's like, Charles, Mr. Dickens, how did you build that big book? No one wants to know that.
And actually, that person deleted their comment already.
Oh, my God.
So we just learned that
they're hearing us live.
Riley Gilgerson found out and got pissed. He was like, I'm pulling this. Thanks for listening to First Person Present, Season 2, Episode 4. We don't have a title for this one yet, but when we do, we promise we'll tell you. Until next week, please like, follow, subscribe, smash that button, whatever the button is. I don't know what you're supposed to say, but smash it.
The button where you listen to your podcasts, please.
The button where you listen to your podcasts.
Yes.
Smash that button. And I guess smash that YouTube button too, because we're tubers now.
Oh my God. We're tubing. We're full on tubing.